And now we go side to side.
At this dance class for preschoolers at a YMCA in Queens, New York, grandparents don't just drop off. They stay to groove with their grandchildren.
Hop, hop. Oh, awesome. Good job.
And afterwards, there's still more to do.
It's like I am the mother to her.
These grandparents, like so many, are helping to raise their grandchildren, partly because child care is so expensive. It can cost more than college.
With this economy, both mothers and fathers have to work. And my wife and I chip in as much as we possibly can.
We have a math test tomorrow.
Ooh.
Take these grandparents and their grandchildren at elementary school PS 144, also in Queens.
I'm his grandfather.
And I'm his grandson.
He takes me to schoolyard every day, like after school. He feeds me after school sometimes.
I always try to find time to spend time with them. If my daughter calls me or my son-in-law, I will always stay with my kids and I just cancel my appointment, whatever.
How many grandparents? Two. How many you have? Two.
Grandparents are the help that isn't hired or paid and really wants to be there.
When my mom's at work, she watches me and she cooks for me.
A growing number of boomers, over 1 million are becoming grandparents every year now, are tightening the bonds of their extended families. Case in point, the president's mother-in-law, Marion Robinson, who lives in the White House as a granny nanny to Sasha and Malia. Michelle Obama says her mother was really strict raising her, but she's so indulgent as a grandmother, she's hard to recognize.
Oh, look who's here, look who's here. Hello.
Daddy!
I can relate to that. I'm Lolly to my daughter Taylor and son-in-law Andrew's 5-year-old Jordan and 2-year-old Chloe. Even though they live across the country, I'm in their lives.
Lolly, you can look.
Okay, I can see your face. Look at you, look at you.
Thank God for technology.
My boyfriend.
You have a boyfriend and you're only 5?
Wait, what?
What?
Do we like him?
No, I love him.
I'm exhilarated being a granny. And in my book, Becoming Grandma, I talk to experts and other grandmothers about the science and joys of grandparenting. One expert, the head of Children's Charter Key Trauma Clinic in Boston, is also my sister-in-law, Paula Stahl, who often treats grandparents who have full custody of their grandchildren.
To me, the definition of being a grandmother or grandfather is to have a whole new kind of love that you don't know is even in you. It's just love, that's it, period.
It's unconditional love, loving them for who they are, not who we want them to be, not loving them for what jobs they're going to have, not loving them for what schools they're going to do, but just the mere joy of being in the same space with them.
One of the things I heard over and over from grandmothers is, guess what? They love me the same way.
Think about what kind of demands a grandparent puts on. What are the demands we make as grandparents? Very few.
Zero.
Zero. Play with me.
Yeah.
Let me read to you. It's a whole different way of looking at parenting.
16-year-old Spencer Emerson and his twin Rosie are both medal-winning skaters. Their grandmother takes care of them several days a week.
You've basically had your grandmother in your life being somewhat of a granny nanny, as I call it. What's that been like for you?
Well, it's been very, it's critical to everything we do.
So she's really been like a second mom?
Yeah, basically. She feeds me, she drives me different places. I stay at her apartment to do homework. Really need her.
Do you call her grandma?
I call her Tish. She really doesn't like being called grandmother.
You've watched it develop with both
It's been really fun.
Tish is Tish Emerson. In the 70s and 80s, she was president of Wheaton College, my alma mater. She worked full-time when Spencer's mother, Becky, was growing up.
What was life like as a single working mother?
Much more than difficulties at the job, the difficulty was getting good childcare. When the children were small, I had a wonderful housekeeper who came 4 days a week. So my mother said, I will give you the 5th day. And that's how we got through me being able to work really long days and have a lot of help.
And if your mother is helping you, she's the one you trust more than anybody else.
Right.
So when Becky needed help, Tish couldn't say no.
I was already so drawn to them.
You're bound to them. It's a binding, yeah.
I came partly to help Becky because she needed it, but also because it just felt so good to take care of these little babies.
Tish discovered she needed them.
Was there a sense, because you worked full-time, that you hadn't really been able to do that full-time with your own children, and that this was going to be your chance?
Yes, and when you see all these things that they do when they're 2 and they're 3 and they're 7 that you didn't get to see before, you know that this is such a wonderful opportunity to get a second life, a second chance from when they were little.
You're already here taking care of them by this one.
Yeah.
And it's been a chance to do things differently.
How do you think you've changed since you've become the granny nanny?
When you're a working mother, parent, time is your enemy. When you're a grandmother, you have a completely different time frame with your grandchildren. And you're able to just be more relaxed and kind of let it flow a little bit more.
Is it just the time, or the parent really does have the responsibility for making them good citizens and getting them educated and making sure they have table manners?
The parents don't have time to do that.
Oh, you're doing it.
When the children were 8 to 12, we ate dinner together every night. So who's teaching table manners? I mean, it has to be whoever can, but I was the one who could.
By all accounts, spending time with grandchildren isn't just good for them, it's good for grandparents too. Just ask the grandparents and children at PS 144.
It doesn't like this.
It tickles me.
You spoil me.
Yeah, we do. We get yelled at all the time from your mommy for buying you junk food. Right, James? Papa gets yelled at all the time?
I like spend time with them. And I cook for them, do with them, play with the soccer, love them so much. Me and my husband. Beautiful.